On this week's Health and Wellness, life coach Meghan Gilroy continues her talk with Christine Lucas of Complete Mind and Body.
Gluten-free is all the rage right now. If you walk down any aisle in a supermarket, you're going to see foods labeled gluten-free, and it just seems to be everywhere. So today we're here with Christine Lucas of Complete Mind and Body, who is a holistic health and education expert, and she is going to explain to us what's up with gluten in our diet. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me about gluten. What is it and why does it matter?
Okay, well, gluten is the protein that's found in wheat. And the problem with it is it's indigestible. And a lot of people don't realize that they're eating products that have gluten in them that they're not digesting. So some of the effects of that are bloating on a more mild level, all the way to celiac disease. And celiac is actually dangerous to eat gluten. It can make you very sick. So people either have allergies or they have sensitivities. And I actually say that everyone is sensitive to gluten, but they just don't know it. And I actually read a statistic recently that 80% of people who have celiac disease go undiagnosed.
Wow.
So a lot of people are walking around just feeling kind of heavier, swollen. Gluten causes inflammation. It causes mucus in your digestive system, which doesn't allow nutrients to absorb. It can also, if you've got any issues with candida or yeast, it can interfere with that, so it can make yeast kind of go systemic. I know for me, if I eat gluten, it feels like every tissue in my body swells. So with my clients, when we take the gluten out, all of a sudden people start to ask them, have you lost weight? You look great. It's the puff that goes away. The puff that goes, especially here, and for me it's really my whole body. And they won't have seen anything move on the scale, yet just by removing gluten out of their diet, they look leaner.
Interesting.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, I actually just got diagnosed with a wheat sensitivity, and I'm shocked at how many products have wheat in them, things you wouldn't expect, like hoisin or soy sauce. So what are the things that I or anyone else who has this kind of sensitivity, what can we eat and what should we avoid?
Well, anything that has, and it's not just wheat, it's rye, barley, because these are all from wheat. And in their whole form, they're not as high in gluten as if it were to be a processed food.
So like a whole grain is different.
A whole grain
than,
is, exactly. I still avoid all gluten because I just find getting the gluten out just makes me feel cleaner, lighter, able to absorb more nutrients. And when you can absorb more of your food, you manage your weight easier. So of course, this is in breads and cookies and pastries and muffins. And then, like you said, it's in pasta. That's right. And whole wheat pasta, whole wheat bread is not any better. I find it actually harder to digest sometimes. So then people think of just bready type products with wheat in them, but like you mentioned, soy sauce, anything that has malt in it. So if you look on the labels, anything that's malted, it's just the list goes on. Actually, if you go to celiac.com, there's a whole long list of everything that has gluten in it. It's in beer. Unfortunately, it's in all the fun stuff.
So what can we eat? What do you recommend that's a good gluten-free product?
I know you're going to be really upset with me. I don't recommend any gluten-free products. And here's why. Most gluten-free products are made with substitutes that are either heavily processed or high glycemic. So brown rice, it doesn't have gluten in it, but it's higher glycemic. Of course, it's not as high glycemic as a white rice. Potatoes, potato starches, I've seen chickpea starches. Some of these, in their whole form, they're fine, but when they're turned into a product, the starch content is higher, so you're dealing with a higher glycemic, higher sugar content in your food. So you're going from one evil to a lesser evil, but they're both, neither one of them are healthy for your body. So I actually teach all gluten-free food because vegetables are gluten-free. Fruit is gluten-free. Other whole grains, quinoa, buckwheat, just to confuse us, has the word wheat in it. It's gluten-free.
Didn't know that. And I'm assuming meat would be gluten-free if you do that, fish.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big proponent of meat. Of course, if you're eating some meat, you want to make sure that it's organic, that it's free range, that it's well raised, that it's high quality. They could be eating some food that has gluten in it.
Oh, interesting. Good to know. Well, thank you for your wealth of information.
Thank you. You're welcome.
If you want to know some more about gluten-free foods and holistic living, you can go to Christine's website, which is completemindandbody.com. And next time we are going to be doing a demo about how to make homemade almond milk. Sounds yummy, so please join us then.